OBS. So, oh wow, my webcam is really delayed. Oh, you know why? I think my webcam is in. I think I have a filter on my webcam that delays it. So that's why my mouth is moving a lot slower than my voice. I talk.
Okay. What's an OBS?
OBS is a piece of software. Oh, there we go. There's the filter, and now we're back to it. Oh, great! That's gonna crackle again. Now Dune's gonna bitch about that. Not that I'm saying Dune bitches about things. Just that on his show he critiques the audio quality when it warrants it. To be diplomatic. Okay. So, OBS is video streaming software. Why? Because it's free, and YouTube no longer offers any streaming options directly through them. YouTube is like, we're getting out of the business of streaming software. You want to stream to us? Use someone else's software. So now YouTube is like, we can't handle streaming software. You have to go use someone else's software to get to our service. Which it's like, dude, you're a video streaming platform. How do you just decide we're gonna turn off the part where you video stream? How do you who does that? So I have no way to conference anyone else in via video. At some point, I could bring someone's camera up on my screen and capture it. That is something that I have very strongly tried to avoid because it is so clunky and so not the right way to do this. It is
the only way.
It is ridiculous that we with the technology we have and the capabilities we have, that the answer is capture the pixels that are on. Not to mention that is a resource intensive process. Not to mention it means that if I bring up another window that overlaps the camera, it's going to mess with that. It's a very unprofessional and inefficient way to do it. That's why I've resisted it so strongly. So right now, the only thing I got is Skype is up, which you can Skype in at NHB Live through Skype, oddly enough. But you can't write in to any. Well, that's okay. I don't think any of the other messengers still exist anymore. So
besides that, who are you broadcasting to?
I'm broadcasting to YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, So you kind of got YouTube working.
Well, I have YouTube working from using OBS, but that's only relaying my camera. I don't have a Hangout that other people can join. Because Skype broke that shit.
Whoa, notifications. All of a sudden. Yeah. That's why.
So, but anyways, yeah, my camera and my audio is up on YouTube, and if I selected the right audio input, you could hear Venison too. Let me check the levels, and you say something.
I'm saying something.
Yes, they can hear you.
Don't tell what prick.
Well, his name is something, and he is a something, and he is something else too, and something. Life's a bore if you and him, the guy that takes down the website. I did actually call him a prick. I didn't say that. I don't know what you're reading from.
Well, you didn't have to go that intensive in the explanation. Pretty much got it.
Yeah, and I don't know who I'm referring to in the stream title. Okay, so, let's see, what is going on? Oh, that's right. We are. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if I'm live. Am I? You know what? I told OBS to stream, but I don't see a live stream on my YouTube channel. Oh, there we go. Live now. There it is. I don't see a live. Okay, and chat is up. Chat is up. So if anyone wants to chat in the YouTubes, you can chat there. Also, because I'm using OBS, which is automatically set to stream to Restreamer, that's set to go to both YouTube and Twitch, we are now on Twitch this week. So, hello, Twitch, and I actually put us in the correct category of just chatting. So if you scroll down really low to the people that have no viewers, you can see us there streaming on Twitch. Now, is Brian and Lulu going to join us? Because I did eventually send them the whole, like, hey, Skype in, because that's all I got this week. Because YouTube broke all my shit.
Ay.
Yeah. They broke it all. They broke my shit.
Now, let's investigate Twitch.
All right, let's see if we got any replies from people who are going to connect in. All right, so Brian's going to call in when he puts the trash out. Skype without a stream. Well, I have OBS going to YouTube and Twitch, but no Hangout option, so only my camera. It sucks. And why does it suck? Because everyone's going to look at my face and they don't ever get a break from it. Although I could bring up a picture of venison to cover my face with every now and then, if you prefer that.
Oh, great. And what name be going under on Twitch? Insert title or your name.
Jay Gators is the name of the Twitch channel. I would have signed up for Johnny Gators as my Twitch title, but I used to have a Justin TV account called Johnny Gators, and Twitch absorbed Justin TV channels, and they didn't automatically make them Twitch channels. But they gave everyone a window of about 5 minutes to say, yeah, I'd like my Justin account to be a Twitch account. And once those 5 minutes were up, those names were locked forever and can never be used on Twitch again. And I know this because I spent months relentlessly harassing them for my fucking username, and they wouldn't even respond to my inquiries that came through Consumer Affairs and the Better Business Bureau.
Uh-huh.
It's my name, it's my identity, it is my brand, and they fucking locked me out of my name. But that's not who we're here to hate on this week. Well, we're not here to hate on anyone.
You're a little bit delayed on Twitch, too?
Oh, well, yeah, all streaming services have delays.
But not as bad on Twitch. YouTube can be like, 3 minutes lag. These guys are pretty well, close.
Anyways, I've not heard from Lulu, though, so I don't know if Lulu's around or not around or what. But anyways, we should open the show, because that is what we do here.
We are having a show.
Yeah, we're gonna have a show. We're gonna do it. We may as well because what else do I fucking got? So
yelling, screaming.
So I think there's only one thing that is appropriate right now, and I think. Oh man, I don't even know which version of this to use.
Now you see, that's what it's doing. Instead of going to a total tirade, just sit back and think things through. And next thing you know, you're on.
So why is that so small? Oh, because that's a WAV file. All right. Well, this is the best we can do. Oh, is that going to do that?
And now, an NHB Radio live feature presentation.
Yeah, about that.
This is a serious message. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Does Bob Vila do this stuff? I don't think so.
Fuck man.
Jump, jump!
Oh my god, I think I pooped myself.
I will toss a salad.
I'm now gonna go slash my wrist with a fucking fork.
You do that, please. Please do that. Anyways, this is Johnny Gators here, and you are tuned into
Insert title here.
the show that changed its name so often, we had to put a placeholder in, but this week, we're Amateur Hour. Because that is so what this is this week. Everything broke, and I was like, that's it. I quit. Okay, let's connect and do this. And that is how I did Amateur Hour for at least 3 years. I think the first 3 years of Amateur Hour was literally this broke, that broke, this broke. I quit, I fucking quit. Okay, let's connect and do it, and let me talk about...
You're a scumbag. I don't want to talk to you no more.
Exactly. So we are back to our roots. Everything is broken, nothing works, and we broadcast despite that. That is where we are right now. That is what we've come back to. We're coming full circle, returning to our roots. The only thing I need is a Gothard here, because it feels wrong to use this theme without Gothard. So I think we need to try to get Gothard in on the line here. So let me see if we have... I think Gothard's cell phone number is actually programmed into the Skype here. So, now if only it would let me just add it to the call. No, well, Skype is broken too.
What?
Well, Skype sometimes gives you a button to add a call to the call that's already exists. And sometimes it doesn't give you that button. And when it doesn't give you that button, that means you have to hang up on the person that you're on and then try to add them back, maybe. So it's like sometimes Skype lets you conference people in, sometimes it doesn't, and there seems to be no rhyme, logic, or reason to it. This is the way Skype was back when we were doing Amateur Hour all those years ago, and we were bitching about it then. So some things never change. So, hey, Venison, we'll try to get you back in on the call if Skype lets us. So we're going to... In fact, I don't even know if it put him on hold. I think it put him on hold. Did it put him on hold? It might have put him on hold. I think it put him on hold. Let's see if it lets me add him to the call. There we go. Now I told it to add Venison back to this call that's ringing. And the question is this still Gothard's cell phone number?
This is Seth's phone. Please leave your message now.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yahas! It's Johnny Gators here, and I go to connect to do my show this week, and YouTube is broken. I can't get on the streams because Rico fired me. Skype made me hang up on Venison to call you, and that's when I realized, oh my God, I'm hosting the Amateur Hour again. Because everything is broken, nothing works, and yet somehow I am connected to an audio stream and people are listening and I'm calling you and talking to you. Except that you're busy putting things in boxes. But that's okay. But it felt wrong to be doing Amateur Hour without you. So we really need you here because everything's broken. Everything's saying, hey, it's Amateur Hour, we're back. We're going to spend years dealing with everything being broken and figuring out how to make this all work again. And it can't be Amateur Hour without you. So the universe is telling you you have to come back. Good luck with your packing. Hey, Skype is still up at HB Live. Don't tell anyone. Okay, bye. All right. Now see, I hit the button to add you to the call while I was leaving him the message, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. This time it didn't. And
Okay, let's see.
Oh, now the audio's fucking up. That's great. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. I've been wondering about that too.
Well,
Something's wrong with the 7.
okay. Well, your audio is doing the boink, it's kind of like when you were living with Skylark, and but Jose Guzman writes in, "Good morning, Gators. Greetings from Malaysia. Hello, hello. We've made it to Malaysia, and you're looping me back.
I am?
Yeah, at
I
times.
don't see how that's possible.
Well, are you using? Am I coming out of speakers or a headphone?
Right now I'm, audio's coming out of speakers. I never did that before.
When audio comes out of speakers and the microphone is within the presence of those speakers, loopback not happening relies on Skype's noise cancellation, which goes through 2 different phases. It kind of works and it kind of doesn't work. Right now it's kind of working. Before it was kind of not working, but that's okay because this is amateur hour. This is how it works. We're right back where we fucking started, and this is exciting. You know why this is exciting? Because we've got stories to tell, and we're not going to tell them here because we're still making new stories. But there are old stories to tell. Isn't that right, Venison?
Yeah, I guess so. So, I'm getting this really weird audio lag.
On Skype?
Yeah, basically on the whole audio section, because I can be here in Twitch, listen to somebody, and it'll go, it'll slow down. It goes,
Why are you listening to Twitch while you're on Skype with me? Of course it's gonna be lagged.
No. It does that no matter what. If I'm just watching somebody on Twitch, like Ed Plays Jazz, and I, open up another browser window, as far as doing that.
Okay, all right. Have you tried upgrading to Windows 10? That'll probably make it worse. It'll change all your sound settings, but that'll probably make it worse.
Probably.
And speaking of making things worse, I think...
Dingy.
There we go. Speaking of making things worse, we got Brian on the phone.
Yay! It's worse.
Show up.
So Brian, we are back to being the amateur hour because I realized something.
What?
Well, Rico fired me. YouTube is broken. Skype doesn't work properly, and nothing works right. And despite that, we are connected and streaming to people. And that is what I did every week for at least the first 3 years of Amateur Hour. So we are right back.
So there was no general streaming to the world, whoever wanted to listen.
Well, I'm Rico didn't fire me every week I was on NHB. It seemed like he fired me every week I was on NHB. But when I wasn't fired from NHB, everything would break, and I'd still connect in and tell everyone about all the stuff that was broken that week. The point is every week everything went wrong, and I connected and did a show with whatever I could. And I seem to be back to that.
And like I said in my tweet, I just put out the trash, so therefore it's just trash talk.
This is trash talk.
Yeah, like I said, and Rico fired you. Yeah, like you didn't give him good reason to.
No, Rico fired me.
So how is it that you're using the NHB live thing on Skype?
Shh! Don't tell anyone that password didn't change.
Oh, okay. Now, I saw a tweet from Liam that said he's going to start a show again.
Yeah,
I take it that's on his toilet channel?
Well, that's going to be a podcast. So they're going to record something every week, and you can download it and listen to it.
Oh, okay. So he's not going live either.
No. Liam and Damon are not doing live. They are coming back in podcast form, which is cool. More people are listening to podcasts than live streaming, and I realize that, and I continue to stream live despite that because I do live. That's what I know. It's what I do. To do a podcast requires having content, and I don't have content when it comes to my show, but...
Yeah, but we're supposed to have content on our show. That was the whole point of me joining, wasn't it?
Well,
Not that I broadcast content.
Let's see that.
Well, Brian, it started when you had something interesting going on in your life. It was, we'll have someone tell us about adjusting to life in Singapore. And, well, we just figured that you kind of went well with the drapes, so we may as well just put you over there and keep you around. And
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, it was more along the lines of after I fired everyone, you were the only one that was willing to still do a show with me, even though I really didn't mean to fire everyone. But I think everyone felt like I fired everyone, and that's not what I meant. My apologies.
Yeah, no, instead they all abandoned you. Right?
Yeah.
Except for Venison and me.
Venison, yeah, he came back. You came back. Lulu's back, except for when she's not. But she's got a crazy schedule.
And hey, once in a while we hear from Mars.
We hear from Mars. In fact, we heard from Mars through the Twitters. He said something about Paw Patrol, so I'm gonna have to look into Paw Patrol, and see if that is something that.
And if you can't find it, then ask him for a link.
Yeah, we might have to ask him for a Paw Patrol link.
It's a cartoon.
Oh, I thought he was
about little puppies being a rescue service.
Okay, well, why is he? I don't need shows. I need software. I thought he was recommending video conferencing software. He's recommending TV shows when I'm complaining about not having video conferencing software. That's okay.
Oh boy.
That's why we like Mars.
Right.
Mars never fired me.
It's just the state of confusion that we're in, right?
Right. We're in a state of confusion. And I don't know what we can do about that. But
let's say liberal or conservative.
Funny thing, I was actually listening to a podcast that talked about that. No, we're not going to talk about that. So instead, let's. One thing I got to say, I went to Jersey this past weekend, had a nice family dinner, and there's one thing we all agree on as a family, and that is that. We would all vote for a BLT sandwich before voting for Trump. And mind you, some of my family members...
Why is that even a question?
well, some of my family members did vote for Trump, or they didn't vote at all and wish they voted for Hillary. But now they're like, oh, I could not imagine how bad it was going to be. I'll take a BLT sandwich over this.
People don't like BLT sandwiches?
It's not that they don't like BLT sandwiches. It's just that I'm not so sure what if a BLT sandwich has a good foreign policy, or the healthcare plan of a BLT sandwich isn't that great. The bacon tends to have the bacon fat that clogs the arteries.
It has
Who doesn't like bacon? Who doesn't like bacon, right?
Right, but
exactly.
Hey, there's a turnip that's running for president.
The turnip's probably a healthier option.
Sure. Even though some people hate turnips.
Well, they call them turnips because you turn your nose up to them.
Of course.
Not a fan.
Okay. I have to. My apologies for repeating the punchline of a Family Circus comic on this show. I think that's about the lowest I've ever stooped to as far as humor goes. Family Circus jokes. Now, if you pardon me,
well, see, you could have just gone with it and not say where it came from.
Well, if you pardon,
and everybody would be cool with it, right?
Well, if you pardon me, I got to go walk aimlessly around the house with a dotted line following me. But anyways,
I can see that
every year Every year I watch the Family Circus Christmas special. I have it videotaped off a TV. Every year I break that tape out. And every year Granddad comes back from heaven to show him where the family star is that he made.
Oh, I don't think I've ever watched that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send you a link. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
You could throw it on the Roku stick for you and the missus to watch on Christmas Eve.
No, but we'll be watching Rudolph.
The night before Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And every year we also watch The Bear That Slept Through Christmas, narrated by Casey Kasem.
Oh boy.
Great.
Oh, they're classics. They're absolute Christmas classics. How could you not watch them? Now Christmas in Pac-Land, I tried to watch that one. I fell asleep about halfway through it.
Pac-Land?
Christmas in Pac-Land. Yeah, it was the Pac-Man.
Is that
Christmas
like a
special.
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Pac-Man lives in Pac-Land, so it was Christmas in Pac-Land.
Did you watch all these venison?
No, the Pac-Man thing, no. Never even heard of it.
How about the Family Circus thing?
Okay, I think I remember watching that once years ago.
What about the Cabbage Patch Kids Christmas special?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
One of them gets adopted. It's a happy ending.
The interesting thing is, when Coleco came out with the Cabbage Patch Kids, so they had a bunch of them out well before Christmas,
Right.
and they were snapped up like hotcakes. So then they ordered a whole shit more, but they didn't arrive until after Christmas, and that's when Coleco went out of business.
Ooh.
Yep.
I thought Cabbage Patch Kids stayed popular at least another year after that.
Not enough to keep them in business, though.
You know, one of the things that Cabbage Patch Kids is criticized for, like, in hindsight, and this is one of the things that's weird for them to be criticized for it, because I was there when this was a thing, and I remember them being advertised, and so I really didn't think anything of it. But they had the line of preemie Cabbage Patch Kids.
Sure,
And
sure.
I mean, the premise being that they're a preemie is prematurely born, so they're smaller and more delicate. And I guess they're going for like the small, cutesy type of thing. Like, these are really tiny babies, and you got, but I think they got criticism for that, because generally a preemie is, kind of a medical problem. There's serious
Yeah,
complications.
but it happens.
It
happens, man.
And to make a child's toy out of what could be like a family tragedy might be insensitive. But then again, maybe that's people being overly PC. I don't know. I was there at the time and thought it was perfectly normal, but I was also a 3-year-old kid that didn't know anything about preemies. So I don't know. What's your take on that, Brian? Preemie, fun toy or family tragedy, or both?
Whatever. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Right?
Never heard of it.
As long as you don't put the preemies in cages and separate them from their families, it's all okay.
Or set them up with AK-47s.
There you go.
With 100-round drum magazines.
By the way, this is not a political show.
No, not at all.
No, I think we should all agree that it's a bad idea to put kids in cages. That shouldn't be political. That shouldn't be.
That's right.
So-
Except that it totally is political, but that's not to us.
Or sell them to sex traffickers.
Moving
Right.
along.
Right along.
Right along. So, how was your week, Brian?
Well, it was definitely unique.
Unique.
Well, tragic story.
Oh,
On July 4th, my mom died.
I'm so sorry.
So we went down to Pacific Grove for that weekend, extra long weekend. We got there, and then we got the call that my mom had died. So we had to come back to, our place in the Bay Area, get what we needed, and then head back down there. And then, so we, took care of that business. And then this past week, we went back down there, and we had my younger brother from Detroit, and my brother came out from Connecticut, and we went down there and had a memorial service. So,
Right.
The bitch of it is, so the Memorial Day was the day before her birthday, and she would have been 90.
Oh man, that's
so just shy of 90.
Just shy, yeah.
So, and we spent some time with my dad, and he's all confused.
That's
he seems to understand what's going on. And then I was talking to a friend of ours yesterday, and he says, "Yeah, he seemed to be confused about that." I kind of figured.
So he's not quite all there right now?
Yeah, he's in a memory care unit, so it's like Alzheimer's.
Oh man, that's like losing her every time he finds out. That's oh my god, how do you not?
Yeah, but
how do you cope with that?
He's been. Well, let's put it this way: he doesn't. Okay. Shall we say he's not in emotional pain over it?
Well, that's
he's
at least there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you hate to see.
But the other part sucks is that other than his memory is gone, more or less. I mean, he does still recognize me. He physically he's not too bad, although he's getting weaker and weaker. He's having tough time to get up. Up to a walker. So that kind of sucks.
That's a real tragedy when the body is fine. You could have some good years left, but the mind just gets scrambled. That's such a there's so many different tragedies. That's one of them.
Right. And that's the typical thing in my family. If you manage to make it through your 70s without having that massive heart attack that kills you, then you're toured at the end of the life, in your 90s, and your mind is gone.
So longevity is not good in your family.
Yeah, not really.
So to go for the completely inappropriate commentary on that, maybe it wasn't a good idea for your parents to offer the money to not smoke, because that might help time things better.
Well, my dad rarely smoked. In fact, when he would smoke, he'd have a cigar.
and he's lived long. In your family,
now
if you take care of your body, your mind goes.
My mom smoked until she was about 85.
Well, yeah, smoking doesn't guarantee. Well,
she only quit because she couldn't really smoke anymore.
I mean, Pence will be the first one to tell you that smoking doesn't kill, and then cite the statistics in the reverse way that they're usually cited. But we're not a political show.
Pence did that?
Oh yeah, he wrote an article because the thing is, if if a third of smokers get lung cancer, then that means 2/3 of smokers don't, and that's just the way you. So Pence basically wrote an article turning around the statistics, and it wasn't. To be fair, he was basically writing an article that the point of it was that the federal government or government in general should just stay out of the smoking issue, and that it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be.
Yet we should be banning marijuana.
Well, we all know he's an idiot. And that he takes smoking statistics and turns them around to try to dress it up as smoking isn't bad, and using the exact same numbers people use to say smoking is bad, but just giving the inverse framing of that kind of shows, the brain power that we're dealing with there.
Sure.
Anyways, but we're not here to talk about Pence.
Right. I didn't know about that part, but he's an idiot.
It's just that it's kind of sad that your family, if you take care of your body, the mind goes. And I just remembered that your dad had that policy to discourage all you from smoking, and it's like, what, so that you could live longer and lose your mind. That's
right.
that's kind of like the defeatist attitude of, well, we're just going to die anyways, so smoke up.
Yeah. Although my mom lived 89 years old.
Yeah.
Well, she has COPD from smoking, and that's kind of bad. Toward the end, they would say, you need to be on oxygen because your lungs can't push that around that much anymore, and she would just set it aside. She didn't want it.
Right.
That's keeping you alive. Anyway.
Kind of need that.
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of family members, my grandfather had a perfectly functioning brain, but he still did funny things. He had a interesting habit of inventing names for things. And sometimes he did it with a straight face and he didn't even know he was doing it. For one thing, he had nicknames for everyone. And that was kind of something that, the gang he hung out with in his childhood, they all had nicknames for each other. And so he held on to that habit of making names or nicknames for everyone. And
now, would they change?
Generally not. But
so one time you're Ralph and then the next time you're Bob.
No. He made up a nickname and that was your nickname. I don't know that I had one. But like, for example, those like bendable figures that you get that you can pose and bend their arms and the legs, like a little bendable Santa Claus?
Or Pokey and
Gumby.
And Gumby.
Right. Well, they had a little bendable Santa Claus that they always put out every year around Christmas time. But I guess the font was such that the word bendable, the D was a little rounded on the edges. And so he thought that its name was Beano Abel. And so every year we brought out Beano Abel to pose him a different way each. So that was Santa's name was Beano Abel. I don't know if he.
Wow.
I don't know that he really thought it said Beano Abel, but I think he saw that and decided, well, I'm going to call this Beano Abel.
I'm going to call it that anyway.
Yeah. He just. Well.
Yeah, and he had names for other inanimate objects.
Well. For years, and this is one of these things that we didn't know about this until later, because he found a bakery in the shore area. So whenever he go down to Shore House, he might go out to the bakery, pick up some crumb buns, and he always said, yeah, I'm going to go to Fanary's, because that was the name of the bakery, was Fanary's. And he for a number of years he was referring to this bakery as Fanary's, and we just all thought that there was a bakery somewhere in the area called Fanary's. And one day, after years of this happening, he swings by there to pick something up while Grandma was in the car with him. And, Grandma's sitting in the car in the parking lot, and she's looking at the signs, and she notices there's no Fanary's in the shopping center. And he comes back with the crumb buns and, nice box with the, string tied to the box closed. And she's like, where did you go? Where is Fanary's? It's right over there. And that's what we found out, that he was going to a bakery that was actually called Fumosa's.
So he just had some made up name.
Yeah, he looked at the side.
Yeah.
For some reason, Fanary's is what came to mind, and from that day on, with a straight face, without any kind of hint that it was any kind of joke or anything, that place was Fanary's as far as he was concerned.
But we all call McDonald's Mickey D's?
No, I call it Macca's.
See, you're weird. Venison, do you call it Mickey D's?
Not a fan.
Okay. All right.
He calls it shit.
Well, I mean, it could be that too. Although they're switching to unfrozen meat, which is way better. Like a quarter pounder actually tastes like a beef hamburger rather than, what the hell is this made from? I don't know. It doesn't taste like anything.
How are they getting the beef distributed there without freezing it?
They're buying locally.
Interesting.
This is a bigger change than their change to 24-hour breakfast. This is a huge deal.
That's pretty fucking big deal.
Yeah, but when you're looking at Five Guys, In-N-Out Burger, well, Fuddruckers, You name the Habit, all these burger places that are using fresh meat, they got to do something.
I don't know. Even
Because
McDonald's
people
with fresh
weren't going
meat.
to them. I would avoid McDonald's until they've done this, for example.
I'd still go to the local burger joint over McDonald's, though.
Oh, sure. But if you're on the road, you'll say, well, now that McDonald's has improved things, I could stop at a McDonald's.
I still go to a McDonald's if I need a quick meal. If I need some.
Yeah.
If I need some,
But,
shit in a bag that's as edible as the bag, I'll, make a quick stop at McDonald's, and there you go.
Sure. It's like the cheap pizza places. Is it better than the box, or should I just eat the box?
I was feeling nostalgic. And so for a while I was ordering from Papa John's because they have the, little cup of the garlic sauce, and that was what was nearby my college, and they delivered right to our dorm rooms. And so I ordered some Papa John's one night for dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, Kristen, how about some Papa John's? And she's like, seriously? You Mr. Pizza Snob ordering Papa John's? I'm like, well, they got this garlic sauce that comes in a little cup. You trust me, you'll like it. Well, they delivered a pizza. We're there eating the pizza. We're about halfway to the pizza when we noticed a hair growing out of the pizza. And we don't order Papa John's anymore because it only takes one hair to lose a customer for life. That is
right.
So please, to all you Papa John's employees out there, please, for the love of God, wear your hairnets. You lost me.
That's right.
But you might
That's
still
right.
have some customers out there that haven't been completely disgusted yet.
So you've been kind of a pizza snob about New Jersey pizza.
Oh yeah,
I totally get
this
that.
past weekend.
But if we would go to when you lived out here, we'd go to a Pizza J, you would kind of go, I'll go along with that anyway, right?
Right.
It's not going to be as good as your New Jersey pizza, but I'll go along because that's what people want to do.
Marina Pizza. I mean, they had pepperoni on it, and
Sure. But so my brother was out from Connecticut because he's a New Haven pizza snob, right? We suggest
does that
a
come with a
pizza
side of
place.
traffic for free? Is that what New Haven pizza is?
I don't know. It's supposed to be world famous as being a pizza place.
It's
right near the Yale College campus.
Best eaten in a car waiting in a line of traffic trying to get home. That's New Haven pizza right there.
No, you eat it there, I think. But anyway, he was such a snob about it, he refused to even consider any local pizza place. What the hell, man?
Well, he did just lose his mother.
Well, this is true, but so did everybody else.
I know. I was.
Yeah, it's a bad excuse.
I didn't have much else to say.
Right.
Damn, talk about being cold-hearted.
I mean, who needs bad pizza on top of losing your mother? It's like
right, but there are some
I know
reasonable places.
At that
I mean, Round Table, unless you get a burnt one, it's not so bad.
And you get about a 50-50 chance of not getting a burnt one there. So
yeah, that depends. But like you go to a Straw Hat Pizza, okay, that is not as good. Oh, and it'll be burnt too.
The only thing I know about Straw Hat Pizza is Mars said that he didn't like Straw Hat Pizza.
No, there was one near where my folks used to live, and they would like it. They would go there. It's okay, yeah, I'll have it. Okay, it's not as good, but
I'm
just going along.
I'm picturing someone making a pizza in a barn, because where else are you wearing a straw hat? Straw hat and pizza don't really go together.
Do you get pieces of straw in the pizza too?
That's what I was picturing as well. It was Straw Hat Pizza is not an appealing name to start with. So I don't know how they've stayed in business this long with a name like that.
Right.
But then again, with a name like Smucker's, it's got to be good jam. I mean, maybe that's what they're going for there. We're so confident about our pizza that we're gonna call.
But when you look at it, you get and I'm gonna have to guess. You go to Round Table, which is a better pizza.
Yeah.
Which can be burnt. It's going to be close to $30 for a large. You go to Straw Hat, the same pizza will be about $20. So it is cheaper.
Yeah, but if you really
some of the
cheap,
ingredients come out of a can. which is not as good, but
Yeah.
that's what they're going for. Here's a cheaper pizza.
But Little Caesars has the same shit pizza for cheaper than
If
that.
they're available.
There's Little Caesars all over the place in California.
Sure. Although I don't know where one is down in Santa Maria. That's all.
Oh, there's one in Hayward. I know that because it was like
Sure.
right near me, and we never once visited it.
Right.
But they have hot pepperoni pizza ready to go, so that's got to be good pizza if they have it just sitting there under the heat lamp ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
They get sausage. I'll think about it.
No. You're gonna have to order that and wait for that. But the pepperoni, that's ready to go right there.
Right.
Not a fan of pepperoni.
Oh, I like them both.
Really?
Pepperoni, the sausage, they're both good options.
Yeah, I get both, but pepperoni only. I'll eat
Now, Round Table has this, King Arthur Supreme, whatever. Their big logo deal.
It's got
that has all the stuff in it, including linguiça, and we tell them, you don't have to put the linguiça on there.
linguiça.
Yeah, it's a.
I think I knew a linguiça in high school.
I think he used to drive go-karts, right?
Yeah. I think she was friends with Ebola, but these are internet memes.
Oh, okay. See, I got the wrong guy. That's in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, that works. It's okay, Venison's here. Anyways,
wait, what was that?
We were making fun of complex names.
Yes.
This is about Jersey.
Yeah, but you're in Ohio now, right?
Yeah.
Was there a
Well, no
linguiça?
problem.
Is there linguiça in Ohio?
Linguiça, probably. A few blocks from here. There's the which we call these apartments that pretty much look like it's the no, I won't say ghetto because they're nice looking apartments.
Thank you for exonerating me, Venison. That's all I needed. But no, going back to,
And I'm not sure what he meant by that, but
they'll try to kill each other. What the fuck?
but the problem I have with whatever is on that deluxe pizza that comes from Round Table is that they put olives on it, and I just cannot touch pizza with olives on it.
okay. So
Black
I just
olives,
looked up.
yes. Green olives, no way.
No olives.
Okay. So linguiça actually is Portuguese, which I didn't know before. Also, it's common in Brazil. And it's smoke-cured pork sausage with garlic and paprika.
Cured of what?
Well, sausage is usually cured. In other words, it's hung around in a
So you find a sick
barn or
pig,
something.
you harvest the sausage, and then you
Right.
cure it.
And then, of course, the good part, the obvious part is, okay, so, and it compares the popularity in those countries, Brazil and Portugal, is compared to pepperoni in the United States.
Okay.
And so linguiça is not a Jewish food since it's pork, right?
That would be implied, but
Of course, pepperoni is cured pork.
That all
and
depends on
beef.
how it's killed, I think. But generally, I guess there's no right way to kill pork.
Of course, pepperoni is Italian.
Cured is just a process.
I know what
Make
cured
them
is.
out here.
It's like aging.
It's like,
Right.
so you harvest it, you leave it out, and then you eat it.
Here's your
Right.
pork penis, 100% cured of gonorrhea.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going for.
So curing is any various food preservation and flavoring process of foods such as meat, fish, and vegetables.
See, I was just trying to make a joke. I wasn't
by
trying to be
the addition
educational.
of salt, also called sodium
And
chloride.
Basically, you dip it in salt, you coat it in salt, and then you dip it in more salt, and then you slice it up, and then you put a little salt on it and you eat it. And this is
with the aim of drawing moisture out of the food by the process of osmosis. That's how we learned about chemistry and stuff, right?
Well, no, we did that with eggs. You know, like if you took
at the doctors and get blood pressure medicine.
You take 3 dishes and you put 3 eggs in the dishes, and one of them you add a little bit of salt, one of them you add a lot of salt, and one of them you add you add 3 different levels of salt water, and the yolk is different sizes because of osmosis with the salt water. I think that's about the only thing I remember from first grade.
You did that?
No, but I saw pictures in the textbook.
Oh, and the root of pepperoni comes from the Italian word for bell pepper.
Thank you for joining us on Pizza Talk here. Now, bell peppers...
All about food, yes.
Bell peppers are called capsicum in Australia.
I just have my anger
because they're weird.
Right.
So do they call pepperoni capsicum-moni?
Well, that's a good question. I wonder what.
This is why we need Emily on the show still, but that won't happen. Anyways, because then she would just roll her eyes.
Okay, so the genus name of the plant is capsicum.
Capsicum, yes. Capsicum is what they call bell peppers because they're weird. Anyways, that's not what we came here to talk about.
Which is just a pepper.
So to go back to...
So that would be Latin rather than Italian.
That would be Latin for shithead.
Yeah. You see, we're getting to it. We're getting to it.
And you know what? Anyways, we're going to talk about history. We're going from...
good. A new interesting topic.
Well, because... with the look in the future, there's also the look at the past. And we got the future, which is Damon and Liam are starting a podcast instead of live streaming. And we got the past, which is we're now doing a show just like we used to do. And when you think about the way we used to do things, we're making new stories now, but there's a lot of great old stories, and we've been doing this for a long time, and other people have done this before us and at the same time as us. And there's a lot of stories. Venison, how long have you been internet streaming?
Since 2003.
Okay, now where were you the first time you ever heard of Sloan?
Down in the lab, tuning around.
Now, what was it? You heard him stream something, or you heard him on automation? What was your first exposure to Sloan?
Okay, yeah. it was at that moment he had called in, and I tuned in and heard him doing the shit in the microwave.
So you heard that live when it went down?
Yep.
See, I didn't hear it until it was automation. It was already history by the time I heard shit in the microwave go down. And Brian, where were you the first time you heard shit in the microwave?
Just now.
Oh my God, we got to send you a file. Anyways.
Oh yeah,
is that a link?
I laughed my ass off. I couldn't stop laughing.
I mean, it starts with him advertising how to shit in the bag, which he will sell you for a nickel. Which he did actually send these out to people that sent in nickels. And mind you, this was his follow-up advertisement after advertising the Sloan Jackoff sock. Now, I don't know if he sold any of those, though. These are the details I need to find out. But as you can see, there's lots of good stories here when it comes to the history of the Knowles Bard Radio Network, of which we are a part of, even though we're not streaming live on it right now.
Oh, yes.
And the big reason I have never done a proper podcast is because I never had proper content to turn into a podcast. Well, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts that do like a lot of like investigative journaling where they do interviewing and researching things and they edit it together to make different episodes to tell the story. And, you know, things that are broken up into chunks nicely. And, you know, each week you get a new half hour to listen to. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, you know what? It's time to tell the story, including all the behind-the-scenes nitty-gritty details. And I mean all of them. I mean every time every curse Damon and I uttered to each other. All the firings and the unfirings and the drama, but mostly the fun story. I mean, really, I'm excited about, you know, I am going to attempt to make a podcast with the goal of telling the story of No Holds Barred Radio, the network. Starting with Damon and Mike Ellis and them coming together to make a college radio show and then later taking it to the internet and all the people that followed after them, you know, Sloan, J Squared.
So apparently you missed the memo.
I missed the memo of what?
Apparently in 2004, former MTV video jockey Adam Curry, in collaboration with Dave Weiner, co-authored of the RSS application, is credited with coming up with the idea to automate delivery and sync of text contents with portable audio players. In other words, the podcast was born.
I have been familiar with podcasting from the early days of it. Back then, it was a way for people to listen to our show on demand that didn't catch it live. My focus was always on the live streaming. I was never...
See, so that's where live on tape was invented, right?
Yes. Basically, we do live, and then RSS was there for live on tape. And
right.
I've utilized that. I mean, there were many points in history where NHB automated the process of creating podcasts of every live show that went on. And that was something that Rico created. And, you know, he's a part of the story too. And heck, I might even interview him if he promises to slash his wrists with a fucking spork live on the interview. But, no, it's funny. It was the image of me that made him want to slash his wrist with a fucking spork. Little detail that most people probably forgot. But that's besides the point. I'm not going to go into further detail about what it was I was doing in this image and that was put in his head that made him want to slash his wrist with a fucking spork. But that might be a story we won't tell. Anyways, the point is I think we got something here. I go back, sit down with Damon for interviews about like his putting the show together, track down Mike Ellis, interview him, sit down with Sloan, interview him. Maybe we'll even try to find Neighbor Dyke and the Rite Aid hippie chick. And oh yes, we will be finding Trey Dog and J Squared. And Lee. I'm hoping all these people are willing to volunteer or to work with me and sit down for an interview. I can't promise this is going to work. I can't promise this isn't going to just blow up in my face and be a miserable failure. But this is what I'd like to do, and this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm actually going to meet with Damon the weekend after this upcoming weekend to start talking about this. So it's really funny that the same time I come up with this idea that Damon's receptive to, Damon and Liam also decided to do a podcast. So, oh my God, 2 NHB-related podcasts coming out at around the same time. Is this awesome or what?
Totally awesome.
What do you think, Venison?
Back to the Future.
Well, don't know what yet. In the kitchen washing dishes. Be right back.
Okay. You don't care. You know, Brian, you ever have like
I do too.
You ever have a weird mishmash of realities that form their way into dreams that make no logical sense, but they work while you're having them?
Yep.
Well, it's funny because I recently started a new job. Part of that process of getting the new job was getting my Fong to be a reference. So I talked, had a nice phone conversation with her, a few months ago when I was doing that interview. I'm happy to be gone from a really chaotic job that I absolutely hated the environment by the end of it, and so I think I don't think this all happened in one dream. I think this actually unfolded over several dreams. Now, it could be that the whole thing happened in one dream and it feels like it was split up because of time, but I think I actually had the first part a different night. Because in my dreams, I'm in this reality where somehow I end up on the phone with my Fong, and somehow an offer is made, hey, we could use you back here at Tharco, and they make me an offer for something that's higher than what I'm making at my current job. And I think about it and I say, okay, I will come back. And then last night I actually had the dream that I am back working at Tharco. I think you might have even been there. Dale was there, but he quit the day I started. And it's also like a chaotic environment, and I find myself thinking, why did I agree to come back to this? Why did I agree to come back to this chaos? But it's not that it's a mixture of the chaos I left at Eternach and the old job at Tharco, because in my mind I think, well, at least it's not Eternach. At least it's not that crazy. At least I didn't go back to that job. But then again, it makes no sense, because how could I possibly have gone back to California? And also, there's no one's there anymore that I used to work with, and yet they're all there when I. So it's this reality that has kind of formed in my head.
So was Nick there?
Oddly enough, no, he was not, and I didn't even really think about that.
Oh,
I hope that doesn't say anything. I don't. That wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to. You know what? Nick is going to be so.
Well, maybe you
offended
just
by that.
decided that he was not going to move back from Minnesota because he loves it there so much.
Yet I brought Dale back to quit, and I think Marianne was there.
Okay.
Damn, dude. Has work affected you so much as now infecting your dreams like that?
Oh, this isn't the worst. The worst is when you work a full day of retail at the Christmas rush, and then you get home, and then you start dreaming about sorting change in the cash register and handing it back to customers. That's time you're not getting paid for. I always thought that I should be able to fill that into my time card, because,
Well, how often you've had that nightmare is that you're still in college, and damn it, you didn't get that paper turned in on time, or you weren't ready for this exam that just happened.
I never went back to college in my dreams, but I've gone back to high school a few times in my dreams.
Oh God, I had this happen a few times. I dreamt that they saw through my ruse, and inducted me back in the Navy.
Ooh.
Oh, you were back in the Navy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Come on and join your fellow man in the Navy.
So actually, I worked with a guy that had just got out of the, I think it was Army or Air Force. But he was stationed in Germany. So it could have been either one. No, it was the Army, in fact. So he was in the Army. He was in Germany for quite a bit. Well, he was there, and his wife decided she didn't want that, so they got a divorce and she left.
Ooh.
And then he married this woman from Germany, a German woman, which he then, after he left the service, he was, brought back, to Colorado, because that's where we were. And he kind of was missing the Army. He wanted to go back into it.
Okay.
And he, because hey, they give you 3 square meals a day, and the whole schedule is set up for you.
So his wife wasn't a good cook, is what I'm hearing here.
That's a good question.
I think that's the moral.
He never said that directly.
Moral of the story here.
That's the only one he's not going to speculate
or she
on.
might have been a good cook, but she didn't cook regularly. So he wanted a wife that was going to lay out his clothes for him.
Apparently.
So he married a drill instructor.
Maybe. Although she was German, so I don't know how that would have worked.
I don't know.
Unless she enlisted in our army.
Well, the personality of one, anyways. But
Right.
anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say. But no, it's just kind of weird what your mind will do. With the but at some point, what's weird is if when I have a dream that takes me back to high school, it's like I haven't forgotten the fact that I have graduated from high school years ago and I'm a grown ass man, and yet somehow it doesn't completely die. Like I'm here thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, I thought I was done with this, but I am here and this is happening, but I thought I was done with this. And it's kind of like this weird, odd thing that I never can really reconcile in my head. I mean, the dream still keeps on going. I'm still under the premise that, yes, I'm back in high school now, and this is all happening, and oh my God, where did my pants go? But it also, it's just weird because it's like, I thought I was done with this, and oh my God, where did my pants go?
Now you see, there's where you're supposed to step it a bit, because you say to yourself, "But I've been here before," or something like that.
Cool, that's just regular old deja vu, right?
And yeah, deja vu. Thank you. But then you realize that you're in a dream, and once you realize that, you manipulate it.
Whoops, you on us.
He's waking up from the dream is what's happening right now.
Like I said, once you realize the deja vu thing, you can manipulate that dream.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Oh yeah.
Here's the
well,
thing.
lucid dreams are cool, where you're just kind of waking up, and the dream is still running, so you can change the parameters of the dream.
Well, yeah. I had a period of time that this was happening to me on a fairly regular occurrence. I was in my senior year of college, and I was taking a class that involved getting up early in the morning for Music Harmony 4, in which we learned all the weird 20th century techniques of composition, like chordal harmony, and chordal is the only name I remember. But we also modal harmony, things like that. And then I would, but I would stay up really late. I'd stay up and watch Leno, and then Conan, and then a Leno rerun, and then a Conan rerun, and then an SCTV rerun. And at some point, I'd fall asleep in the middle of the SCTV rerun, and then I'd wake up for the 7 o'clock class of Music Harmony, and then I would go back to my room, throw on the TV, and my head would hit the pillow, and I would pass out from exhaustion at that point, or from sleep deprivation. And doing this regularly, day after day, well, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday anyways, Tuesday, Thursdays, I didn't have a morning class so I could sleep in, would result, with the TV on, would result in my drifting off to a sleep, waking up without waking up, eyes open, I see I'm in my room, but my head is glued to the pillow because I am still in a state of sleep paralysis that you go into when you go into a deep sleep so as not to hurt yourself. But it's possible to become alert and aware while you're in this state of sleep paralysis. And the first few times it happens, it's freaky. So I did the only thing that you can do when this happens and you get out of it. You Google the shit out of that to figure out what in the fuck is happening to me. And that's when you learn that you can drift back into a sleep while being aware that you are dreaming and go into lucid dreaming and control it. So, of course, the first thing I tried to do was to live out all my sexual fantasies.
Might as well.
The problem with this is that your brain is only capable of recreating experiences that you've actually experienced in life. So as soon as I start reaching like my hand to grab the titties, my brain's like, error, does not compute. I don't know what that feels like. And then I'd wake up.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
I literally found programming bugs in my brain by lucid dreaming. Data not
Reprogram,
found.
reboot,
Error.
reboot.
Error. Data not found. Does not compute.
Yes, and on the opposite side of that coin,
I blue screened my dreams.
you have a situation where you have experienced, the vast majority of them, and you eat a whole bunch of oysters that night.
Oh no!
And the dreams that you have are nice, fun, until you had to use paper towel, to mess when you wake up.
Oh.
We didn't have to hear that part.
Well, we already know how Venison hung the posters up on his wall.
Oh, wallpaper paste.
Five Hit Dune writes in, grab the T space S. Well, we're foreplay, right? You don't go right for the pants. You work your way up to that, So I could do a little making out. I could do a little kissing, maybe. I could figure that much out. But then you grab, under the shirt or whatever, and it's just like, nope, it does not compute. Don't know how this experience feels. It was so frustrating. I tried. I really tried. But my brain could not fill those blanks in. And yet, somehow, if I hit live wires in my dream, my brain can figure out what it feels like to be electrocuted. Why will it fill that blank in? Because, yes, I have held live wires and been shocked the shit out of in my dreams. But I can't get some damn pussy.
No,
Yeah, it just isn't fair.
Sometimes it adds some things you don't want added.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, for some reason I have this one memory of a dream where I was getting this girl in the bathtub, and I pushed my way in, and she just started coming so hard and so much I had to pull out. Because I was like, oh, what is going on here?
I think
and every time I tried to go back in, the same thing would happen.
I think there's a video based on that. What squirters or something like that. I heard of something like.
Yes, like that.
I think isn't there actually technically the term female ejaculation? Isn't that's a thing, right?
Oh yes, it is a thing, but not that much.
Well, Five Hit Doom writes in, I get the feeling you will have more questions for St. Peter than he has for you when the time comes.
That's a good one. Totally good one.
Hey, St. Peter, what's the deal with female ejaculations? Can you explain that one to me, huh? Here's the thing. Here's the reason I know about that. I used to listen to Chris Jagger and Dr. Judy love phones on Z100, where people would call in with their sexual questions or their sexual problems or their things like that. And Dr. Judy was a certified sex doctor. And she sounded like she was hot. I don't know if she really was hot, but she had a voice for radio. She may have had a face for radio too. I don't know. Never saw pictures of Dr. Judy. But she sounded hot. And how could you not listen to a radio show with a female sex doctor telling people how to have sex? So I would listen every night. And someone called in because he was a little freaked out I can't
remember her name.
At how much his girlfriend let go when he made her come by going down on her. And he was like, it was just a lot. It just kept gushing out, and she thought she peed on me by accident, but it wasn't. It was, and Dr. G's like, no, that's called a female ejaculation. That happens. That's a normal thing. So there you go. Now you know. I heard it from a sex doctor.
So as we learned from Venison or his one of his followers, for Pete's sake, talks about St. Peter.
That makes sense, for Pete's sake. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it never occurred to me before.
That you know what? We need to Google
That's
that.
the first obvious place to go, but you never know because the way these things have twisted meanings. It could mean something totally different.
You know what? We're going to Google this, for Pete's sake. Let's see. Can you tell me who Pete is and why do we do things for his sake? The phrase "for Pete's sakes" and "for the love of Pete" are mild oaths. They originated as substitutes for something stronger, for Christ's sakes or for God's sakes, for the love of God. Oxford English Dictionary explains that the name Pete in these exclamations is chiefly a euphemistic replacement for God. It was first recorded in 1903 according to OED citations, followed by "for the love of Pete" in 1906 and "in the name of Pete" in 1942.
So not necessarily St. Peter.
Why Pete rather than Phil or Fred or Percy? We don't know, though the Morris Dictionary of Word and Phrase Origin speculates without offering any evidence that whoever coined "for Pete's sake" may have had St. Peter in mind. So no one knows why they start filling in Pete, but other people have speculated the same thing that we have, but it's only speculation.
Uh-huh.
But that's the best
Because
theory
the guy
we
that
got.
invented it never said.
Pete.
Yeah, real quick.
Right.
Was that the one that was more famous? A little while back ago. The old lady sex doctor.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth. Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't remember that name for some reason. Continue.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. This was not Dr. Ruth I was listening to, but
I hope not.
But anyways,
Well, she's still around.
and she proudly ejaculates.
Wasn't she advertising for somebody like Geico or something? I forget.
You know what?
Just recently.
I think she was. We need to Google that now. Let's see. Dr. Ruth Geico. Let's see. No, I'm not finding that. I don't know. Huh. But there's plenty of sex talk from her. And I really don't want to watch her talk about sex right now. So we're going to... You know what? Vic had a good tirade recently, and I want to see if anyone else has experienced this, because he tells a good story here.
Hey, what do you say? My Facebook, YouTube,
I'm
Twitter,
gonna fast forward a little bit here, because this is his content. We don't want to steal his content too much.
So I don't think anything about it, and I say, yeah, sure.
He called a plumber over.
Yeah. So I give him a
Luigi.
He starts plunging, and after about a minute, he says, now get this. Do you have a plunger with the center rubber thing that fits down in the drain so it gets a good suction? That's when I said, don't you have a plunger? And he says, I don't have one on this truck. Now, I want to be crystal clear here. The plumber doesn't carry a plunger and knows he needs a special kind of plunger to unclog a drain.
So that's generally the gist of his rant for about 5 minutes. Plumber shows up without a plunger. I've never run into this problem.
His reasoning.
But I've heard of plenty of people having this problem. I remember one guy was bitching about how he, was coming into work late because he was waiting for the cable guy to come to hook up the cable. The cable guy showed up, and he's like, "Oh my God, I left my tools at home. I'll have to schedule another visit." It seems to be enough of an occurrence that this is a thing. Tradesmen showing up without their tools. Brian, you run into this situation in real life?
Never.
Never. Wow, all your tradesmen are showing up with tools.
Pretty much.
Okay, all right. This is a boring topic. Venison.
No, keep going. I can imagine it.
As for a
I just don't recall it ever happening to me, that's all.
I had one that was kind of like that, because the apartment maintenance. I said, well, this is an odd light bulb because it has prongs. You don't twist it in. As he said, okay. And the guy came around, to replace the light bulb because I couldn't find one in any store around here. There's a special breathe for this light fixture. And he comes around, breaks out a bulb, starts to put it up in there, and even I could see at this point, this is not going to work. It was a regular screwball. It's like, dude, if it was a regular screwball, I would have put the damn thing in myself. I've got one of those here. I said this was a special connector. Oh, yeah, right. That's a weird plug. I'll have to order it. See you next week.
Ah.
Well, it was on a Friday, and he came back Monday. Yeah, but it's like, come on. That kind of bass? Are you serious?
Well,
why would I call you out here?
Well, I haven't had that situation, but I had to get the car inspected last weekend, and that's a frustrating thing. Every year I've gotten my car inspected in Massachusetts, they find something that's at least hundreds of dollars that I have to get done to the car. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm yearning for the old days of California, where you went to a test-only station and that's all they did was testing, and they didn't care if you passed or failed because they weren't going to get any repair money out of you. They don't have that here in Massachusetts. Now, I don't have to get my car repaired where I get it tested, but that's generally the easiest and most convenient way to get things taken care of. And so it is really, there is much incentive for the place you go to get your car tested to find any little thing wrong they can find with your car and make up a quote and basically say, you need this because you failed your inspection, and we will do all this for this much money, and then you pass.
Wait, you
See, I told you.
You got that stuff out there?
See, I told you had to replace your car before you replaced the battery.
Well, this is both cars. Actually, the newer car is getting the more expensive. Although this year the problem was I needed a new set of tires. Now, I suppose that's just the luck that I'm at that point where it's time for a new set of tires. So there's $700. Tires, alignment, balancing, everything, all that. That comes to $700. Labor, that comes to $700. But then, here's the one that really pisses me off, because shortly after I got this car, the car has the type of parking brake that you push it down to latch it in, and then you push it down again to release it. It doesn't have the handle you pull to release it. It does both. But I think it's got the part's got some broken teeth on it because it doesn't always catch when you push it down. But I know where to get it to catch. So I never have a problem putting on the parking brake because I kind of know it. And if you push it down a few times, it'll eventually catch. And it's been this way for years. And I've brought it in. The first time I brought it in for inspection, as a matter of fact, they told me about this. They said, oh, do you know that there's a problem with the parking brake? You pass inspection, but do you know about the parking brake problem? I'm like, oh, yeah, I know about it. It's like, well, we just want to make sure you're aware of it because we didn't know if maybe you just bought this car from someone from Maine. I'm like, no, I'm bringing it in from Maine. I've had this car for a little while now. Oh, okay. We just want to make sure you knew about it. Okay. That was then when I first moved to Massachusetts. And every year it's passed inspection after, I think last year they needed to do some work on the normal brakes and needed pads and stuff like that, whatever, okay. So this year they come back and they say, well, you failed for the parking brake. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, it's not holding. I'm like, well, but that's the way it's always been. And they're like, well, no, it's not holding enough. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever. So they call me back and they say, because they're like, it might just be an adjustment. You might just need it adjusted. I'm like, okay, great. Look at it, adjust it, whatever, and put the tires on. And so they call me back and they say, no, the part's broken. The part plus labor is going to be $300. I said, $300 to fix the parking brake? Is there a cheaper option to fix this part? Nope, that part's broken. We need to change it. It's going to be like $150.
Can't you drag a stick on the ground?
I the state of
Or,
Massachusetts.
or your feet, right? You got a Flintstone car
The
now, right?
state of Massachusetts has a list of safety things that they check for your inspection. They check all the seat belts, they check the horn, they check the wiper blades, they check the windshield washer is working. All these things have to be working because they're all considered safety features. You can't have moisture in your light fixtures. You can't have cracks in your light. California, they checked emissions and that was it. That was another thing. California had test only, and they only really checked your emissions. Massachusetts, they check a bunch of more things, so it might not even be the service station's fault. But the thing that gets me, the thing that really grinds my gears, is they field me on and made me spend $300 for a part that has been broken for years. They've passed an inspection for years, and then this year they decide, no, we want $300. And so I said to them, to the guy that's telling me I need to do $300, I said, well, this car has passed inspection every year I've been here, and that brake has been that way as long as I've had that car. How come this year you're making me spend $300? He said, well, I don't know where you've gotten it inspected before, but it does not meet the requirements of the state of... I've taken it to your place to be inspected every year. You've passed it every year. How come you're not passing it this year? Well, we got cameras this year, so if it doesn't work the first time, it's on camera.
They're not allowed to slide.
Yeah. So that's. But the thing is that I buy lines too easily sometimes. So after I got the phone, I was like, do you really think that's what really happened? I wonder. I think they're bullshitting me. I think it's a gray area failure.
Hey, you know what? You're welcome to come back to California.
I already know how that works in my dreams. I show back up and Dale quits. We don't need that. Oh wait, he doesn't work there anymore, anyways.
Have you heard where he's gone?
Last I heard, he was taking some time. He was looking around. He was, but it's been a while now. I don't know.
I just have heard nothing. That's all.
Yeah, he was. Hey,
do you remember Mark Wakefield?
No. Don't think I knew him.
Oh, that's right. He left before you came on board. He was in IT. In fact, no, not even Nick replaced him. He was replaced by Carl.
And that's a guy I only met because you went to lunch with.
We went to lunch with him, right?
Well, that was the guy that you staged the argument. You just didn't let me know we were staging an argument, and instead picked an argument.
Right? Yeah, we just kind of
for Carl's amusement.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's
Dude,
right.
don't enable about stories of acquaintances at work. We'll be here for another 2 hours.
Dale Flom still has Tharko listed on his Facebook account. I'm sorry. Well, that's with a PH. We'll just say
LinkedIn.
We'll say it's a
LinkedIn?
PH. No, Facebook.
Oh,
but then again, he might.
Well,
not...
he hasn't been on in a long time. So.
Let's see. People wished him a happy birthday, but he didn't thank anyone. Okay. What's the last? Let's see. Nick wished him a happy birthday last year, but not this year. And people wish him a happy birthday in 2017. Yeah, he's not logging into this account. People are still wishing him a happy birthday every year. He is totally not getting the message. He has no idea how many people want him to have. Family members are wishing him a happy birthday on his Facebook page, and he has no idea. This is sad.
By the way, how do you remove your birth date from your Yahoo email account?
Who uses Yahoo for email anymore?
Well, just because you quit.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's your funeral. What
do you mean? They're good outfits, though.
Oh, God, they're awful.
So you prefer Gmail?
Well, Yahoo, every time I checked my Yahoo email on my phone, it would pop up an alert asking me to use their app. Every damn time.
Hey, they stopped doing that now.
Too late. I gave them many months of this. And I said, fuck you. fuck you again, and fuck you with a rusty chainsaw, and that's why I use Gmail.
Say, actually, I use both. So, and you knew that. Venison. Sorry, I brought this up.
That's okay, because we all know that CDs are better than cassettes.
Yeah. So, is anybody streaming audio in surround?
I used to.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I used to.
No, but I mean, and it's like, hey, all you have to do is decode it, and you're good to go. And we be each on our own channel. We need to have a fourth.
Here's the thing. I toyed around with the idea, and I think I figured out a way that I could technically transcode surround on the fly, but it would have been complicated as hell, and it was probably about 10 years ago that I was figuring out how to do that, so I don't even remember how I came up with that idea, but it involved using...
But each user would have to have a decoder, right?
Well, anyone listening would have to...
well, of course, yeah.
Because, well, remember, I used to stream that surround stream, but it used Windows Media, because I found Windows Media was the best option it was the most robust option for streaming in surround sound, because Windows Media streaming formats had the 5.1 capabilities built into the medium. And now you couldn't use third-party streaming software, because like I found like the third-party streaming software had the 5.1 options in a drop-down just because they imported every option that the standard offers, but it would crash if you tried to select that because their software only dealt with stereo sound. So if you played surround files, it was down mixing it to stereo, and if you told it to stream in surround, it wouldn't know what to do. And
oh, well, that sucks.
But it was like, but you have this option in the drop down. It's like we just imported the whole list of options from the specifications, but no, we don't support that. So that's why I went with. That's why I was doing just direct straight Microsoft method of doing it, and the only thing I could really do was make playlists on a server that would generate random playlists to randomize music. I could have manually connected in to stream live stream, but I never did live streaming on that stream, and I never figured out an easy way to switch between playlists and live streaming. Now there is MP3 surround codecs, and that was stuff that was mainly in like beta formatting. Like I think the actual live streaming MP3 surround plugin was a beta plugin, but there were actual streaming entities that were using it, but it was very basic. And I wasn't sure how to make it really work on a server easily.
So hey, Venison.
Yeah, you're gonna apologize.
Are you still there,
again?
Venison? I think I have to, because I think we lost him totally this time.
That's okay. Dale's LinkedIn account still has IT manager at PCA as his latest gig, but it does mark that ended in 2018. So he updated it enough to say he stopped doing that, but if he's doing something else, he has not added that.
Wow.
That's okay. I think Chuck still has Tharco as his last gig, too.
Chuck Fernandez.
Yeah, okay.
Fernando.
Yeah, Chuck. Collections Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has yeah, that's the last thing he has on there. So either he's just not updating his account or he's still doing nothing. Which you'd think by now he would have found something.
Yeah, never know. I mean, what's his name was unemployed for 8 years. Jerry,
okay.
Remember Jerry, the real friendly guy in customer service.
Yeah. Well, What did he do?
What, in customer service?
Yeah.
Talk to customers.
Okay.
Well, was that a dumb answer or what?
Well, why did they get rid of him then? Because no one else in customer service actually does that. They're all too busy to talk to anyone.
I know. They just decided they had to lay people off, so they did. And he got nailed. He had the short straw.
Yeah. He was.
Or
Well,
short sausage.
they had a lot.
But I liked him. I thought he was. He was good with customers because I had heard him talking to customers, and he was very friendly and whatever. But they let him go. But I follow him on Facebook.
The thing I remember about Chuck.
He's like venison. He drops all these joke stuff on Facebook.
Well, the thing I remember about Chuck is before his last day, I think he actually came by and mentioned to me, I'm still getting faxes on my printer, so you might want to tell someone about that. And so I think I told someone about that, and somehow someone was like, yeah, don't worry about it. We got it. Okay. And then fast forward about like 3 months later, and I walk by his office, and there's a stack of faxes on his printer, and it flashing the message that it's out of paper. And
so nobody cared.
Nobody cared. All these faxes, people were still faxing things to Chuck. There was no Chuck. So,
but also they eliminated his department, so there was nobody to give them to, right?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean that we weren't still trying to collect our payments. That just means that someone else was doing it somewhere else, and there were still faxes involving them.
So you figure out who that is, and to bundle them into a box since we could make that.
All these people
and
trying to pay their
by
bills.
Right. Yeah, you might want to go through this and see if there's anything important there.
At some point, someone was determined to be the best person to give the pile of papers to, and they were given the piles of paper. And I'm sure that if they didn't go into the recycling bin, they came in great use to line the guinea pig cage for their children at their home. So it was a happy ending either way.
Yeah.
But that started to become the you're gonna get fired soon office. Anyone they moved into Chuck's office was
meant you were on the way out the door.
Yeah, basically they sent you out the back.
I forgot
exit.
who got there next.
What was that guy's name? That older guy that used to sit in like the office down the end of the customer service area. He had something to do with safety and stuff like that. He was a very nice guy.
Not Craig Unders.
No, he was a nice guy, and
Craig Unders a nice guy.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But he left
Craig
on his own.
Who's Craig Unders? Craig Unders. Was
he was in accounting for a while, and then he was in a kind of a special role.
Bicycle suit guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way more than I needed to see. But
right,
because that is all I picture anytime I think of Craig. So thank you for reminding me of that image. But
right,
he had the tightest bicycle suit one ever saw. It was like, okay,
well,
bicycles,
hardcore bicycle guys wear that kind of thing.
Yes,
That's
they do.
all.
And anytime I see someone wearing that, I stare at their face. And it's the only way to get me to make eye contact consistently. Put on a bicycle suit. But that's right. No, he sat all the way at the end. That office all the way at the end, which is where we started putting Boise people when they would visit. Which is why one of the reasons I think he ended up being bounced into Chuck's old office. And he was. The problem is that I don't know if it was Boise that got rid of him or PCA that got rid of him, but whichever one it was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who that would have been.
They basically had no idea what to do with him because they did not have.
Well, of course, I was gone before PCA came in. So
okay. All right, I don't know if he was coming.
So maybe that's post my departure.
It's all a blur now, but I remember talking to him a lot, and we even joked about the fact that they kept moving him closer and closer to the exit because he was not shy about joking about like he was pretty much saw that they were going to get rid of him, and it was frustrating for him because
now was Gordon still around at the time?
Maybe I forget, But the thing about
because Boise just frustrated.
But the
Gordon
thing he was frustrated about was that he knew the packaging business inside and out. He had worked through a lot of different positions, so he was like, put me somewhere. I can do a lot of different things. Just put me somewhere. And they basically were making him do a bunch of bullshit jobs. Like they made him travel to Southern California to get some kind of a inventory on the equipment down there, or, you know, like check out forklifts or something like that. They had him filling in for people. And so they had him traveling around all over the place. And he's like,
wait, is this the guy that came in from DuoFab?
I don't know what that is. So
He was doing a mixture of things. What the hell was he doing? He was working with the guy, what's his name, that uses that huge scanner. I mean, huge printer.
no,
that big HP thing.
he didn't
that was
work
a
with
pain in the butt?
Jose. No, he never worked with Jose or the printer.
Oh, okay. Then
Not while I was there, but maybe at some point he was, because he did a lot of different things. From what he said. But basically, they just didn't know where to put him, and so they had him fill in for a few people here and there. They gave him busy work, and then they sent him his walking papers. And And speaking of people,
because they like to get rid of people that knew what they were doing.
And speaking of people that don't know what they're doing, we got Venison back on the line.
Hey, Venison.
Yeah, there we go. 7 cracks.
So what happened, man?
Net.io. Net.io kept failing or keeps failing. I don't know why.
We missed you, but we thought we just bored the crap out of you.
Well, that too.
Well, you know, yeah, I still would have said something. Be like, oh man, you're boring. I'm leaving.
Because I did apologize a couple of times that we went in that direction.
Maybe we should make a podcast about the history of the packaging industry.
Oh God! Right. Podcast.
The Egyptians discovered papyrus. No, maybe not.
Holy crap, can you believe it's almost 10 o'clock already?
I know. We've just blown through another 2 hours, and we are back to where we started. Venison looping us back on his shitty Skype setup. But that's okay, because this is amateur hour.
And why do we have an echo?
You have a microphone next to speakers. What do you expect, Venison?
Did it do it last time?
That's because it relies on Skype's noise cancellation to work. Sometimes it kind of works. Sometimes it kind of doesn't work. Headset is the consistent way to go. We're going to host a telethon this year to get a USB headset to send to Ohio, care of Venison, on the internet.
What the Oh, there it is.
There it is.
No, that's recent chats. Try and figure out how to get the configuration here.
It don't matter. Well, do you have a headset?
Oh, man. Wait, is this it? That's it. There it is.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, we hear ourselves loud and clear now. This is great.
Off incoming video. Hold on. Audio and video settings. There we go. It doesn't give you much.
Right.
What did Mac adjust microphone settings? Really?
Okay. All right.
Where's this we're talking about?
The setting is you buy a headset, you hook it up. You use it. That's the setting. All right. Let's see here. We can get you a Logitech USB headset H390 with noise canceling mic for $22.11 plus free delivery. We just need your address. Oh, you can get a case of 16 of them for $367.98. You get a headset. You get a headset. You get a headset. And you get a headset.
Because we're sick of getting echoes.
We'll just buy all our callers headsets and mail them out ahead of time.
Right.
That's why they sell by the case. But on that
Or
note,
if the guy's on his phone, we could get him a cheap earplugs with microphone.
yeah,
his phone.
yeah, get some earbuds, with the microphone, and as long as the headphone jack in your laptop is wired to the same 3-pole setting because not all earbuds are wired the same. Stereo headphones have a universal standard that all use the same thing. Microphone headphone combos don't
Go
all
with Bluetooth
use the same.
headphones. Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, Bluetooth sucks, and you know it.
Of course.
Every time Venison gets up and walks away 2 feet from the computer, the connection will drop.
Right.
Bluetooth!
So what have we learned?
What have we
What have we
learned?
learned here?
Well, let's ask Venison what he's learned.
Venison.
What have I learned? Well, wow. Thinking, trying to piece together, threads
New
were
Jersey
thin.
pizza.
I got really good and stoned. It was something about you. Wait, dreams. Okay, keyword dreams. And the rest of the track I forgot.
Venison learned the definition of the word dreams. And this episode is brought to you by the letter D for dreams.
Right.
And the number 2, as in, I gotta drop a number 2 after the show.
All right.
And what about you, Brian? What have you learned this week?
Oh, I learned all about pizza and linguiça and pepperoni because I was reading it on the air to bore everybody.
And I've learned when shit breaks, it makes the content stronger. It makes the loop back more likely to happen. But there you go. And on that note, thank you everyone for listening once again to another fun-filled edition of
Insert title here.
which once again changes titles so frequently. We put a placeholder in. And we just throw an amateur hour right in that placeholder right now. We'll see if we can bring Gothard back to really live up to the amateur hour name again. But he's moving again, so he's boxing up all his shit. And there's nothing like boxing up CDs and then carrying heavy boxes of CDs to make you realize why no one is buying CDs. But
Right.
Anyways, thank you everyone for listening. Once again, the Amateur Hour live on the No Holds Barred radio. Oh wait, but we'll be back next week, and who knows? Maybe we'll even be back on an HB. Maybe not. That all depends on how the negotiations go. And thank you once again for listening. Good night.
Good night.
This new format will be up in the ass.